White shirt Jack. This is a sight to behold. I think I've worn white on this channel probably like once or twice. This is where trust me, I'm freaked out too. Anyway, I want to talk about something really important in this video, and this is going to be more mindset because it's something that I really believe is very important and no one really talks about it, at least not enough. And this is something that you need to realize. If you want change in your life, if you want a different life, you need to become someone different. You need to start something different. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to changing your life, if you want to get out of the current position that you're in, if you don't like what you're doing, you dread waking up, you don't like the job that you're at, you want to be in a different financial position, you need to change what you do with your life. It's very important. You need to change the actions that you are taking. What you're doing right now, here's the thing. If you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. That's it. It's very, very important. You need to change the actions that you take each day. Do you want a different job? Do you hate the job that you're in? Change it. Change what you're doing. Change your job. Maybe you want to change the position that you're in. Maybe you want to change the field that you're in. Maybe you want a different career altogether. Yeah, you probably can't just quit your job tomorrow and just go and do something different, but you can take the steps towards it. Does that mean you need to study more? Go and do that. Does that mean that you need to maybe take a little bit of time off, or maybe just tone it down a little bit so you can start working towards something else? Maybe you're flat out. That may be the case, but there's always time for you, whether it's early in the morning, later at night when you're not working. Start building towards the thing that you want to do. Maybe you hate your job, like I said. Start early in the morning. Wake up half an hour earlier than we usually do. Stay up a little bit later, half an hour to an hour later than what you usually do. Or once you get home, don't just do the same thing that you've always done. Start building towards what you want, okay? Whether that is taking on courses that teach you what you want, whether that is doing different kinds of study, or just taking notes down and really start studying about the thing that you want to do. Like I said, if you've done what you've always done, you're always going to keep what you've got, okay? You're not going to get anything new. You're not going to get anything new out of your life. When I first started this online journey, what was I doing? I was doing a normal 9 to 5, okay? Just like a lot of people out there. I was doing a retail job, and I actually didn't mind that retail job. But it got to a point that I was sick and tired of dealing with the things that I didn't want to deal with. Dealing with customers that were just constantly abusing you verbally. Dealing with a team of people that didn't want to be there. Dealing with management that didn't respect you. Dealing with people that didn't necessarily respect you and they only saw you as someone to fill in a position. Now, what did I want to do to change that? What did I think about in terms of changing? I didn't want to go to the same job, okay? And I was only there for around about 4 years or so. And there's people that have been stuck in their jobs 15, 20, 30 years, 50 years, the same job, and they still have the same mindset decades after. They don't want to do that job. But guess what? They stick to that same job. They're stuck in the same life. They don't improve. They don't break out. You know why? Because they don't do anything different. You need to get up and you need to start that thing. I really don't like this motivational crap. I don't like the whole big, really loud rah-rah kind of like, get up and do this and blah, blah, blah. But some of you need it. Some of you need a change. Some of you need to hear it from other people. Some of you need to hear it from someone like myself. When I first wanted to break out of my 9 to 5, what did I start doing? I was working full time. I was making like $600, $700 a week doing full time in a management role. Okay, that doesn't really get you anywhere. If you want to branch out somewhere, the hard reality is you're not going to make it out in with $600-700 a week. Majority of the time, these living conditions these days, you can't do that. But most of all, it wasn't about the money for me. It was about living life on my own terms. So, what did I do? I started learning about how I can break out of this system that I was in, this same mindset, because it was I would work 5 days straight, I would have 2 days off. Yeah, like 2 days off, that's awesome. I love it. It's my weekend. And then it's that same grind mindset of all of these 5 days of the week, it's going to be the exact same up until my next weekend. And then I can have some fun time off and I can enjoy my life. And then when it's back to those 5 days, back to depression mode, back to the same mindset, back to I hate this, or I don't want to be here. That's going to be the same forever if you don't change it. So what did I do? On my days off, before work, after work, I started learning about what it was I wanted. I really focused down on what I wanted. So what did I want? I didn't want to trade my time for money. I didn't want to work under someone else. I wanted to work my own hours. I wanted to be my own boss. That could be the part of me that's just too stubborn, okay? And that's not the answer for everyone. Maybe it's fine for you to just work under someone else, but just in a different position. That's completely fine. For me, I wanted to work on my own. I wanted to work under my own supervision, my own time. Who did I answer to? No one but myself. Yeah, it takes a lot of work, but I wanted to do that. So what did I do? Before work, after work, I studied. How do I make money not by the hour? How do I make money without being present? To me, that led me to online business. I went through a lot of studying, a lot of going through videos, and a lot of just really finding out about the online world. And then what did I do after that? I found something that could potentially take me there. That was Amazon FBA. Started learning about it, liked the business idea. Now, we get to this point. Most of you get to this point. You start learning about it. You see that people become successful with this certain thing that you're looking to do. With me, it was Amazon FBA. I saw people become successful at it. I saw that these people were making 5,000, 10,000, 20, 30,000 per month with this thing called Amazon FBA. It was selling online. It was online business. They were making money while they slept, which technically was true. They were making sales while they slept. Most of you get to this point. You get to this point, you get the motivation, then what do? Oh, I'll get back to it next weekend. Or I'll get back to it tomorrow. Or you start learning about it, and then this one little bit of the process gets difficult, and you might not know something, or you might get stuck on something. And then what happens? I'll come back to it tomorrow. I'll come back to it next week. You don't come back to it. Then you find yourself 6 months later. Holy shit, 6 months have gone by. I'm in the exact same position. Do you know how many people get stuck in that same position as you? 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. You haven't moved anywhere. And you're stuck in the same position. And then you're just sitting there talking to yourself saying, you know, nothing's changed. I'm sick of the way life is. You could have changed it. You could have changed it, but what did you do? As soon as something got a little bit hard, as soon as something didn't work out exactly as you wanted it to, you stop. You stop. It's your duty. It's your goal here. The main thing that you need to focus on is when you get to that point, you start learning about it. You start basically finding out what everything is all about in, you know, which field or which business you want to get into, whatever it is you want to do. Once you find that initial motivation, you find a reason to do it, you push forward and you do it. You just make it happen. Just start. Back to my instance, I found out about FBA. I found out that people were making good money with it. Now, what did I do? I had savings from my job. I invested money into the business, put about $3,000 into that business. I got my first order in and I started pushing a product on Amazon. I actually launched my product and I started selling. Okay, I just got into it. I didn't know everything about the business, but I started. That's the main thing. You need to start. So, my main message here, a lot of you out there have been stuck in the same position for so long. You've been stuck in the same position for so long. And you know why that is? It's because you don't do anything about it. You don't get anywhere. You don't even try to put yourself in a different position. So here's what I want you to do after this video, because this is what helped me. So I've gone from, this is my almost sixth year. Next year will be my sixth year of working for myself. And I look around each day and I think to myself, no matter how bad something gets, I'm going to figure out a way. If my businesses were to fail tomorrow and I had to go back to square one, I would do everything in my power to figure out a way how to not work for someone again for the rest of my life. That's just not what I want to do. I don't want to work for someone, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make that a reality. Maybe you guys just haven't hit a low enough point. Maybe you're just too comfortable, because that's another thing. Maybe you're just too comfortable and your job's easy. You like your group of friends. You like the way that, you have your weekends. You don't have to worry about work. Maybe you don't want that extra responsibility. Maybe you just don't want it bad enough. I wanted it bad enough. I hated my job enough. I hated the position I was in enough to change something about it. So that's maybe where you guys are stuck. But what I want you to do, if you want something bad enough, go out and get it. Go out and do it. Some of you just aren't told that you need to actually work for it. Like I said, this is my sixth year, going on to my sixth year working for myself. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't care how hard it gets. I've been through a lot of shit with online business, okay? Just things with businesses, keeping yourself on your feet, because I'm just like everyone else. I still got to pay rent, I got to pay bills, I got to pay taxes, I got to do all that stuff. And I'm the back line of my business. If I get up and I don't work, guess what? The business doesn't go anywhere. No money's made. I don't get anything going. Business doesn't get anything going. Just my life would crumble around me if I stopped. But I want it bad enough. I don't care about the shit that I need to go through to get there. You know why? Because I would much rather go through this shit than have to wake up the next day, be in my secure little comfort zone, and, I'll just go back into a retail job. I'll just go back into a 9 to 5 because it's easy. It's just nice and chill. I can go to work, I can come back home, and I don't have to worry about work. That's the part that makes me sick if I think about myself doing that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I would much rather go through this shit of running your own business and challenging myself than being stuck in the same position. And then, you know what's going to happen? If you've been contemplating, you've been battling within yourself whether you should go for it, think about this, because this is what I think about. Think about what's going to happen in 20 years, 30 years, maybe 50 years' time. And you look back and you think to yourself, you know what? Maybe I should have done it. And then by that time, you've got more responsibilities. You don't have as much time. Maybe you've got a family by then. Maybe you're in a position where you can't do as much as what you usually can, or maybe you can't do as much as what you could have when you were 20, 30, 40 years old. Guess what happens then? You can't wind back time. You can't wind back time. We haven't got that ability yet. So it'd be cool if we did, right? I would love that. But you can't wind back time. That's the one thing we can't do, is wind back time. You know what you can do? You can take control of the time that you have now. So instead of just putting it off each day, just start it. Start something, because if you don't change, you are not going to change. If you don't change yourself, your situation, your world isn't going to change.